This is Hot Import Nights.
What's up everybody, it's Priyon Joni, and today we're going to do a tutorial video. It's going to be a breakdown of the Peter Piper routine popularized by DJ Jazzy Jeff. So for this tutorial, we're going to be using Pioneer DJ software, Rekordbox DJ, with their controller, the DDJ-1000. And also make sure to get yourself a copy of the song, the original version of the song, Peter Piper by Run DMC. That's what this routine is done with. Okay, so the reason why we're using the DDJ-1000 for this tutorial is because it has a really large LCD rotation indicator, so we can really see where our marker is. So let me show you the whole routine first. So first things first, make sure that your crossfader curve is set to sharp so that there's no fade here. I believe you can go into settings, preferences, where's mixer? Crossfader curve right here, set it all the way to sharp. So basically there's no fade, it's just on or off. So to get full volume, it just takes a little bit of distance on the fader. So on the bad meaning bad but bad meaning good part, we want to set a cue point right at the beginning of bad meaning bad. So let's start the song from the very beginning. We're gonna fast forward to where that bad meaning bad part is. So right there at the beginning of bad meaning bad, set a cue point. I kind of want to be a little bit inside the stab, just not exactly like before it, but right inside it, if you could see that, right there. And then I set it by holding it on the platter and clicking the cue point. For this whole routine, I've broken it down to 4 different scratches. 4 basic scratches that you need to know and know well in order to be able to do this routine. So scratch number 1 is the baby scratch, so no fader. Scratch number 2 is the chirp, invented by DJ Jazzy Jeff, which is basically a baby, but when you move forward, you cut it out, and then when you move backwards, you cut it in. So doing that fast, it sounds like this. And then the other scratch is the forwards, meaning you cut the fader on, and then you let it play forward. And then you cut the fader off, and then you rotate it backwards. So the only thing you hear is the forward sound. So. And then the 4th scratch is the transformer, which is when you click the fader on and off as you're slowly moving forwards and backwards. So. And knowing all 4 of these scratches and alternating the patterns is actually what the Peter Piper routine is done in. So I'm actually doing transformers, then doing chirps together. And when you see me do this routine, I also add in a 5th scratch, which is the crab scratch. It's a little bit more advanced. I'm so used to doing it that I just do it naturally in my routine. So sometimes you'll see it, but if you want to see how it's done, what I do is, whether I'm doing a forward or a baby on the platter, on the jog wheel in this case, I take all 4 fingers, or 3 fingers, and I snap them with the thumb holding against the end of the fader. So it'll sound like this. So when I'm using it in the routine, it sounds like this. So yeah, basically, just know your babies, your chirps, forwards, and transformers. So for the Peter Piper routine, in order to go into it, usually you have part of the song playing on this side, but we're just going to show you how to do the bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good part. So I do it a little differently from Jazzy Jeff, and the point of this exercise is not to do it exactly the same, but to actually do your version of the expression. It's kind of like a guitar solo when you're doing a cover. It's not really so much copying it, but adding your style to it. So let me just show you how I do it. So the way I do it is I actually replace a transformer with a chirp scratch during these parts, because for me on a controller it's a little harder to do that transformer without the forward momentum of a turntable. A little bit easier on the DDJ-1000, but from the videos you guys seen, I do it on the DDJ-SB3, which has a really small platter. So I found it easier and cleaner to do using a chirp there. So once you learn how to do that, you can even start varying the patterns. So it's not exactly like Jazzy Jeff's Peter Piper routine, and you could totally make it your own. For example, so to break down the bad meaning bad but bad meaning good part of the Peter Piper routine, I start off with a chirp. And what it is, it's basically a chirp scratch that kind of rotates as you go. So like if you look right there at about 10 o'clock, that's my cue point. That's the beginning of the bad meaning bad. And this white marker actually is where I'm hitting it. So that's kind of my home right there. So what happens is I'm chirping. It's kind of like a chirp, forward, chirp. And you don't do a full chirp where you go backwards. You kind of let it do a forward. So to make this easy, I'm going to show you guys without the fader the whole motion all the way around. So here we go. It's so what happens is, that sounds a little sloppy because I'm just doing it open fader. What I do is I do a chirp and I let it ride out a little bit, and then I do another chirp on the word meaning. So it's bad. And then I do that at bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. So every single word, bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good, you chirp it. So it's like this. So let's try that again. And then you work your speed up until you get to the point where you're like. So on the next part, once you got that bad meaning bad but bad meaning good all the way around where you're doing the chirps, what you want to do is you're going to come back to the beginning, and what it is it's a 3-click transformer. So what that is so what happens is when you get to the good part, when you get to good, you basically rotate all the way around until you get back to that yellow marker where you started. Now, I did an open fader. In the routine, what happens is you do 3 clicks of a transformer when you go back. So it's like 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it's 3 clicks. So on the last click, keep in mind the way I'm doing it is I leave the fader open so you get a little bit of that slide back sound. So it's and this is going to take a little bit of practice because the hardest part about this is getting to the right spot when you spin this back. And the right spot is usually somewhere just right before where 10 o'clock is, where your cue point is indicating it's at. So now, just to show you how hard I spin back, I actually let go of it. So because I want my hand to always be on this side instead of ending up here. So what I do, when I get to good, I throw it, and then I kind of stop it when it gets to where I want to be. See what I mean? I kind of keep my hand in the same spot because I literally throw it to do a full rotation. So once you got that down, bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good, rotate. Now you're going to break it in half. So instead of, after doing it twice, all the way up to the word good, you're going to do only half of that, bad meaning bad, but click, 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 but bad meaning bad. So let me show you. What? Sorry. So basically, you go to bad meaning bad, swipe, bad meaning bad, swipe. So it's not as big of a distance, but it's the same movement with 3 clicks of transformers as you swipe back. So let's do that slowly. So to do the full routine, it is 2 rotations of going up to bad meaning bad but bad meaning good. And then you do the halves only twice. And then you do 1 full rotation again, bad meaning bad but bad meaning good, for the 5th time. So let me show you. So full rotation. Then you do it a 2nd time. Now you do it twice, only doing half. Now full time. So uninterrupted, it goes like this. So for the next part, what I do here is I don't do exactly the same thing. So from the part where it's good, which is about close to 10 o'clock, at about 2 o'clock is the next stab that you're going to be scratching. So to do that part, it's forwards, one transformer backward. So it's bump, 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 bump. So I'm going to show you guys a really simple one without too much complex combos. You guys can totally improvise how you want to do this part. What I do in an actual performance is I actually start with the forward and do a couple combos. So with a couple crabs. So basically what it is, it's playing with the stab percussively. For this demonstration, let's do something simple with just forwards and transformers. So it's dun 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 dun. So to do that pattern, let's call it a lick. It's basically one forward, one transformer going backwards, and then forward, forward. So it's forward, transformer, forward, forward, transformer, forward, forward. So let's do it really slow. Let's see if I can do some counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I were to count, just to keep on my timing so I know when to stop, we're going to count basically one bar. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's do it up to speed. So, forgot to count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next part is the part where you rotate Jam Master Jay's scratching, this part. And what's cool here is we're actually going to scratch the scratching he does and do some cool stuff with it. So coming from that stab lick, okay, so what all that is so like this part, I kind of want you to look at your waveform just so you kind of have an idea, because the waveform actually shows you what to listen to. And when you're practicing this, I want you to just look at the waveform just so you know where you're going to stop and you're going to go back. When you look at the waveform, you see that when I go forward, I let it get all the way up to the there it is part. And then I swipe it back and I get to the word good. So it's okay. So that part I'm doing here is actually a transformer. It's da 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 da. So it's actually 5 clicks going forward, and when you get to this part, that should be your 5th click, and you should be going backwards by then. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yep. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it doesn't have to be perfectly on that sample. It just has to glide into it pretty smoothly. So it's like this. I notice when I do it, I have a natural tendency to grab it at 2 o'clock on the jog wheel. Because once I get back to the word good, I'm at a comfortable spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I go backwards, I do 3 more clicks after 5. So there's going to be 6, 7, 8. And I leave 8 open. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I leave 8 open, I get back to the word good. Because the reason why I want to get to the word good, it's kind of my marker so that I have a good stab when I rotate this forward again. So let's try that again. Okay, so, okay, from the beginning. Okay, so what it is when I get to my 8, so 5, 6, 7, 8, I just leave the fader open, move forward, rotate it fast, and then when I get to there it is, and then we add 2 babies right on there it is. And after you do your 2 babies, you let it go. So it's there, 1, 2. So it's 1, 2. So let's do it. So let's do it slowly, all the way from the beginning. So I hope that video wasn't too confusing, but if you found any of it a little difficult to understand, be sure to ask me in the comments below. I'll be happy to try to respond as fast as I can to help you guys out. And if you do like this video, don't forget to subscribe to me. If you see this on Facebook, make sure to find me on my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Priyonjoni. And when you click subscribe, be sure to also click the bell icon so that you guys get a notification as soon as I upload a new video. Alright, happy scratching.
This is Hot Import Nights.